The officer who faces the most serious charge in the death of Freddie Gray has opted for a bench trial. Officer Cesar Goodson Jr. changed his mind at the last minute. His jury trial was supposed to begin today. Goodson drove the van in which a medical examiner ruled that Freddie Gray suffered a deadly spine injury in April of last year. Cell phone video captured the moments when Gray was arrested and dragged into that police van. Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington with more. Paula, good to see you. What's the significance of the change, and what are the advantages of a trial by judge for Officer Goodson?
Vlad, this is incredibly significant. It's a major shift in the whole trial, opting to have your case heard before a judge and not a jury of the citizens of Baltimore. And this means that his defense team got together and they believe that this judge is willing to make an unpopular decision to possibly acquit Goodson of some or all of these charges. So the defense team has to believe that if a judge, an objective arbiter, looks at the facts in this case, and Vlad, we have almost no eyewitnesses, very little physical evidence, they believe that if a judge looks at the evidence, it will not match up to the facts, and they will hopefully have their client acquitted of some, if not all, of the charges.
Paula, we're just flashing up on the screen the charges that Officer Goodson is facing, including second-degree depraved heart murder and 3 counts of manslaughter. What will prosecutors be arguing in this case?
Prosecutors are going to argue that because Goodson was driving this van, because he was at each of the 6 stops that this van made, that he had an obligation to seatbelt Gray in, and also he had an obligation to get him medical attention when he allegedly started suffocating in the back of the van. But Goodson's lawyers are going to argue that he acted as a reasonable officer would in the circumstance, and that not seatbelting him in didn't amount to criminal conduct. But Vlad, if he's convicted, he faces up to 30 years in prison.
Paula, this for a lot of people signifies that perhaps the prosecuting attorney does not have the ability to get guilty verdicts in most of these cases. I mean, you've got some of the more significant ones coming up right now, and they appear to be going in the way of the defense.
Vlad, this is a must-win for the prosecution. This is the biggest case. These are the most serious charges. He's the only officer who's charged with murder in this case. And now that the prosecution knows they're going before a judge and not a jury, they're going to have to spend the next few days before this begins on Thursday revamping their strategy. They're going to have to shift from a strategy based on feelings that may resonate with certain residents of Baltimore to facts. But again, incredibly high stakes for the city of Baltimore, for Prosecutor Marilyn Mosby, the whole team. They're really going to have to get a win here, because otherwise there will continue to be questions about whether or not the state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, moved too quickly and inappropriately charged in this case.
And that exactly is the question that I was looking to hear from you, Paula. Thank you so much for joining us.